Well, well, well. Well,
Good.
well, well. Good
Okay. All
morning.
kinds.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
wherever
day.
we are.
Good.
Yeah, happy Saturday. Oh my goodness. Like,
Woo!
is it cloudy outside? All that technical stuff going on. Saturday somewhere,
Girl, I tell
causing all
you,
kinds of disruption.
all kind of stuff be happening. I tell you what, it will not would woo, break my
Nothing gets,
soul. Come on here, somebody with Beyonce. You will
nothing
not
gets
break my
past us.
soul, okay?
No. Is that her new music?
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of
Okay.
them. That's one of the main ones. You can't break my soul. You won't break my soul. So with that being said, hello, Miss Lynn Lynn.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh yeah, we two out of the four, but it's all good because you know they be
I'm
everywhere doing
serious. I
things. They
mean,
out at the voting polls. They out at the Capitol Hill. They at the president's office. Girl, they
yeah,
everywhere. These
the
ladies.
ladies
What
are
can we say?
busy. And the
They
guys.
busy.
Even
And
our piece
the
on the side. Our guy on the side.
guys. I got our brother on the side.
Our brother on the side. He's
Yeah,
yeah,
it
everybody's
happens.
busy,
But it's all good
but
though.
it's all good. Yeah, they all working in the community like they
And that's
always
what we
do.
do. That's what we're about here on 4 Sisters Live. So how have you been, dear?
I've been doing good, just getting ready. Hey, getting ready for tomorrow's the big day. Looking forward to the 20th anniversary of Sisters for Sisters Network,
Yep.
and Dr. George Frazier's in the house already, and oh, we got a lineup that's awesome for next for. And look, and Peggy said everything is a surprise, so you're right. Everything will be a surprise tomorrow.
Everything always is a surprise with Peggy. You
Right.
know, Dr.
So
George Frazier is in town. It just seems like the king is here. The
the
king
king
is
is here. The
here.
king is here.
The king is
Visiting
here.
one of his babies, Cheryl Wood. She has her event, and
Yes, today in Alexandria, Virginia, I believe,
I
or
believe so.
Arlington, Virginia,
Like
the
a
Speaker Con.
speaker
Yes,
con.
her
And
annual.
I remember the day that she actually. I was at that convention in April in Atlanta when she competed to be one of those, in a contest, and she won the contest, the speakers contest,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been flying ever since. It's
Every
been
since she
awesome.
look, she is a boss lady for real.
She is a boss lady,
She is
lady.
definitely a boss lady, and I adore her. I just really
I,
admire her for her
yes,
tenacity and what she does herself as relates to bringing up others who want to be in that field. Because speaking is not easy. You can't
it's not.
speak in front of people and stand in front of people and be able to, execute everything you want, and you standing there like you got the fright. It's like, oh my God, I got people standing in front of me. But you got to go for it if that's what you want to, become a
And
speaker,
that's what she trains
and that's
these
what she trains.
ladies to do, and they are
Hmm.
awesome. I listened to a lot of it last year, so
Hmm.
yeah, the Speakers Con is awesome.
Well,
So
congratulations to
yeah,
her.
congratulations to Cheryl Woods and
Yes.
Dr. Frazier and Peggy.
And
Woo!
to Peggy, she is
Oh,
now
Peggy.
coming up on the 20th anniversary of Sister for Sisters Network.
Yes,
Woo,
yes. Hey, look, I can't even find where is my tutu.
woo. You're too, girl. You're
I
missing
can't.
out.
Oh, it's way over there.
It's
I'm good. I'm
all
good.
good. It's all good.
I'm good. I see
But
it. It's time to
yes.
toot the horn.
But in the meantime, yes, we got the 20th anniversary of the Sister for Sisters Network will be held on tomorrow, which is a luncheon.
Yes.
It's going to be a very beautiful, beautiful event. She has so much, like you said, excitement and surprises and guests that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a part of
Yes.
that. And a lot of our sisters are going to be there. So it's going to be a great day.
I'm looking
But
forward to tomorrow
yeah,
morning.
definitely. She's been working hard to do this. She's been
Yes.
working really, really hard to pull this together.
Everyone, yeah, all the that behind the scenes crew, because
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
even know who's. I know Dr. Casey, but I don't know whoever else. And Dr. Casey,
Yeah, I
they're
think
on
Wanda
it.
Washington and
Yeah,
Sharon and
Sharon,
Renee,
all the co-founders.
all the
Yes,
co-founders, and everyone is there to make sure that this turns out to be a wonderful event. So it's been a minute since we all gathered. So
yes,
it's going to
that's
be
true.
nice. Yeah, it's going to be really nice. I'm looking for the food. I'm looking forward to the food.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm looking forward to
The
this.
menu sounds really good. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm,
but
yum
you know,
yum.
have food will come. Okay, that's what I say. Have food, I'll be there.
I'll be there too.
I'll be there. Yeah, but in the meantime, relative to what's going on in the community, Lynn, it's time to vote. It's time to vote. That's
I
what's
voted
going on.
yesterday.
I did too. I
Okay.
did this early
Yes.
voting yesterday, and
Mhm.
I felt good. How do you feel when you come out of the voting booth? What makes you
I
feel?
well, yeah, I felt good. I felt
Mhm,
good. The night before, I studied everything and everybody to really make a difference on who is the agenda, has the agenda that I'm looking for. And that's
mhm.
so important. So this year, I really paid attention. I think everyone should really pay attention to what you want, what the candidates are saying, and what they're doing,
That's
and what
true.
they have done.
Right.
Look at
What?
their history. Google them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's the first time I ever Googled
Mhm.
persons that, because some people you don't know that's running in your area. So if you
Mhm.
don't know who they are personally, and you don't know anybody who knows them and their history and what they've
Mhm.
done,
Mhm.
I advise you to Google, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did, and that helped me to make my determination on some of these new candidates, how to vote for them
Yes.
based on what I, at least what I Googled and what people are saying. And you know, if you got to investigate,
Yes. You do have to do your due diligence
you,
to
you,
find out
you do.
who
You do.
you are
Don't
voting
just
for.
go there and say eeny, meeny, miny, mo if you don't know them, because I've done that. It's like,
Yes.
oh God, I don't know these people. So, you just make a decision. No, I don't want to ever do that again.
And many people are still doing that because
Right.
they don't
Don't
know
do
enough about the candidate. So they're making a great conscious choice
it.
about who
Hmm.
they're going to put in office that would do the right thing for their community, our community, because there's so
Hmm.
much going on. So yes, people, vote, vote, vote. It's time to vote. So hello
Time to vote.
everyone out there. Come on in. You don't see our regulars, but it's all good.
Yeah, where's
Like,
everybody? Everybody's
share,
helping.
comment.
Everybody's working and everybody's at all these events.
It's a lot going on. A lot of
That's
community
a
things
lot
are
going on
happening today.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But we want people to
Charlene,
come
how
in.
you doing wherever you are? Hope you
Eh,
tune in. And it's Peggy. Peggy's going to tune in a little bit too, correct?
Yeah, she's out there with Sherwood's
She's
convention
at the speaker
conference
card and
going
her and
on.
Dr.
Yeah,
Joy.
definitely.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is definitely move on so that we can have our discussion because today is our first Saturday. We already know what happens on first Saturdays here on Four Sisters Live. We talk
Yes.
about the subject that we don't like to talk about. We always try to continue sweeping under the rug. It is something that's happening in our lives, in our community, in our world every day, and that's
Everywhere.
domestic violence. Yes, we've been speaking on this topic for many years now, and we've had so many wonderful guests, including the guests that we're going to have on today, to help us to navigate this conversation because we can't stop talking about it. We must be out on the forefront and make sure that we're doing our thing. Hello, Mr. Billy Woods. Good afternoon, sweetie. You need to come on up in here. Give us some words
Hey,
of
Dr.
wisdom on what's happening in the community.
Joy
Yeah,
Woods.
she's
Good
one of the
afternoon.
yes, yes. Congratulations. And she's out there been running her race as
Yes.
a politician. So we congratulate you, Jamila, on
We're
everything
supporting
you're
you.
doing.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. But yeah, so we definitely, as you know, talking about domestic violence on today, we have some brothers that we're going to be bringing in. We have not had an opportunity to actually speak on this topic with our men. I
Mm-hmm.
think they play a very valid and a vital role actually in speaking out about this topic because we
Yes.
already know the numbers, the statistics of the women and how that affects us as women because we are in these relationships. And once we get into relationships, it's something that when you get into them, you go in with one idea, one thing in mind, one attitude in mind, one heart of one being involved in a relationship. And then when it turns, to a different
Upside
level,
down.
upside down, it becomes. But you know what,
Mm.
Lynn? I sometimes feel people see what they're getting into, they choose to continue to go into these bad relationships.
Yeah, I believe, and I've heard people say, some people, some women, some men feel that it'll be okay. We can fix it along the way. But
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
signs you cannot fix on your own.
And there are
And
signs.
there are signs. There's always a sign, and you even think about it, but you still decide to go on. Maybe that's just in my mind. It's in your mind for a reason.
But I've heard ladies say, well, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with my plans for the wedding because we already spent the money. The invitations have
Yeah,
gone
I've
out.
heard that too. Yeah,
Yeah. And they want to continue on
and
and they
look
don't
how
want to
much
be
they pay.
embarrassed.
Look how much they pay for it afterwards when it doesn't work.
Your life.
Just stop it and work on it, and then if it works, then continue. But you can't take back that day, but you can't take back that violence or that whatever thing that's happening to you either.
Absolutely.
Stop
Absolutely.
ignoring and pay
And being
attention.
silent.
God gives
Yes.
us signs.
It
I
gives us
believe.
signs. And many of us are silent, in this situation. So
Yeah.
we're trying to, be the conduits here on Sister for Sisters Network, this platform, to bring it out, talk about it, to bring the awareness of it as much as we can. And I don't think it's, something that we can ignore because we don't know who we're touching, what lives we're saving, and lives that we're changing. So I am grateful that we are bold enough to talk. Well,
Mm-hmm.
many people don't even like to talk about it. Again, like I say, they don't want to admit it. But again, we have men on today, our guests, that I'm excited that we're going to bring them on. But before we do that, we want to say happy birthday to all of those who are celebrating a birthday.
In
Uh,
November.
Scorpio, yeah, this is Scorpio season. Happy birthday to
Yes.
you all. And
Yes. Yes.
we now talking about not only birthdays, we're talking about this is now the clock goes back this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
it goes
does.
back on to this weekend on tomorrow night, late Sunday morning.
I think I found my tutu.
Oh, that's what you
All the
want to do.
birthday.
Go, you want to be happy birthday. Go get
I
that tutu, girl.
all the birthday, everyone,
All the
and Erica,
birthdays.
my baby girl, her birthday's in November 19th.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday to all of you.
Erica.
Hey, Mama
And
Stature.
we have
Yes,
so many birthdays. So put somebody's birthday in the chat so we can say happy birthday to them. But most importantly, happy birthday, not 4 Sisters Live, but
happy
Sister for
anniversary.
Sister Network.
Happy anniversary. Peggy's
Happy
getting ready to celebrate a birthday
anniversary.
herself in another week. So
Yes,
we're going to say
happy
happy birthday in
anniversary.
advance. Yes, to her. And so, yeah, so everybody live long, live strong, enjoy your life because that's what's important. Live life. I'm telling you, it's short. Things are happening now, and you must live life. Love, live, and laugh and enjoy your life. And
And pay
also,
attention.
oh, yeah, gosh, yes. Yeah,
Pay
definitely pay
attention to
attention.
all the signs and pay attention to your surroundings.
Yes,
Pay
I say
attention.
that a lot, Lynn. Pay attention
Yeah.
to your surroundings and, as much as you can because we get so taken off focus. Sometimes we think we are being able to pay attention. Next thing you know, things happen. And so we just cut taken by surprise. But
Hmm.
that is a very good point. Stay focused. And
Stay
also,
focused.
I wanted to talk. I've just mentioned that falls back.
Hmm.
Time falls back, so we
Oh,
gain
yes,
an
it
hour,
does.
girl. We get
Oh,
confused. We get confused. I sleep longer
well,
than
you know what?
parents, and I
You get to
lose an
part
hour.
an hour later. The news guy said. So if you're at the party or wherever you are, you got an extra hour. 2 o'clock, you can stay till 3 now.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
whatever. Yeah, just
whatever.
want to let those persons know, and those who really want to get some sleep, just go to bed a little early, and you're gonna get an extra hour. That's what's so cool.
I love it. I love it.
So we're
I
gonna get
can
an
adjust.
extra
Let me tell
hour
you
of
something.
beauty
I
rest.
can adjust, Lynn. Whatever the situation, learn how to adjust. We
Oh
make a
yeah,
big deal over things that we know we're going to adjust anyway.
I know
We've been
it's
doing this all
fall.
our lives. Fall back, spring
It's
forward.
spring forward, right?
And
And
so, okay,
it's beautiful outside, and just think of this
beautiful.
beautiful weekend in the 70s and the 80s this weekend. Oh my goodness, you couldn't ask for more. I went out yesterday and did not want to come back.
But the main thing is that God gives us the grace and the mercy to get up and see another day, whether it's the fall back season or the spring forward. It's just a matter of you are
Yeah,
still here
God
to see
bless
it.
you that you're here.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what's so important. So definitely we want to make that happen. And also Thanksgiving is coming. We got to put all these things because November is the month that we're going to be celebrating Turkey
Yeah,
Day.
we only have one more month left, 2 months left in the year, month and counting.
Okay, just yeah, isn't that
Where
amazing?
did it go? Time
Where did it
flies
go? It is
when
amazing.
you're having fun or in your purpose.
Absolutely. So we're going
Yes,
to, just celebrate and always do what we need to do to stay happy and smile through it all, no matter what. We're
no
going
matter.
to do that. So we know that, again, we're talking about our subject today, domestic violence. And I want to bring on our guests. I want to get right to it. Last week we had these brothers on, and we did, wanted to do a part two because they were really
Yes,
bringing and dropping some wonderful gems on people about their experience with what they're doing out there to save lives and to make a difference in our men. We got to focus on our men, not saying women aren't doing things as well, but men, we really need to do that. And I think it's so important. And I want them to come on so that we can have the conversation
we need.
today, get their viewpoint on what they're doing to help make a difference in this domestic violence community when it happens to abusing our women, our men, our children are affected by this as well. So we
Yes,
want to bring them in, Dante. I want to introduce Pastor Troy Jones, and we're going to hi, Pastor Troy
Hello,
Jones.
how
good
are you?
And we have
afternoon.
Good
also Mr.
afternoon.
Steve. And how are you, Mr. Steve? Bring on Mr. Steven. And is he there? Hi there.
Hey, hey, good
I
to be
want
with
to
y'all.
first
Good
set this
morning.
up. We are great. We're happy to have you guys back. Last
Yes,
week, we really enjoyed you so much, and we felt it needed and necessary to have you back to speak on this topic. I
Thank
love it when men are open and honest and not afraid, not reluctant to talk about this subject.
right.
You
And we want
find
to
men
let you
out
know
there
that
who
we hear you too. We hear you.
yeah,
That's
we
what's
thank
most
definitely hear
important.
you. But
thank
before
We
we
you.
get into that, I want to just set this up so people out there can understand who Pastor Troy is and who Stephen is as well. But this 108 community organization, they are building stronger communities by strengthening the individuals and their families. Number one, that is what's really, really important. And I really feel that that's what it comes from family. God talks about family.
Yeah,
We must deal with. If you don't have a good family, then you are not doing what you need to live a good life.
that's right.
Because
Yes,
families are important. But let me just read this. Thank you for your interest in learning more about the 108 Community Organization. Troy Jones, the founder and CEO of 108 Community Organizations, ordained pastor, a consultant, certified life coach, social advocate, a mentor, inspirational and keynote speaker, four-time author, and a domestic violence survivor for 15 years. Jones has worked in the human service field, working his way from a teacher to director and now entrepreneur, assisting people from different ages and socio-economic backgrounds. From his years of experience, Troy has seen how the effects of neglect and abuse have had effect on victims, loved ones, and the community. 108 family believe that while there are several programs that protect our women and girls, we cannot just silently encourage our men and boys to stop hitting and to pull themselves up by their bootstraps when they are too also they are being abused. In an effort not to exclude anyone from having a healthy relationship, Mr. Jones created 108 to empower men, women, and their families holistically with the tools necessary to identify and maintain healthy relationships. 108 is a program and it will instill resiliency to overcome life difficulties and trauma. I wanted to read that. Normally we don't, but I believe that that was necessary because people need to understand there are organizations like you, Pastor Jones and Stephen, that are making
mhm,
a huge difference.
Thank you.
yes,
A huge difference. You're not just talking it
Mm.
and you're walking it, you're living it, and you're doing it.
Amen.
So thank you again.
Thank
Can
you.
you give us what
yeah.
you would like for the community to know Pastor Jones, I'm going to start out with you. What made you want to have this particular organization?
Wow. I didn't, honestly. I didn't start out that way. I didn't even know that I was being abused. I had no idea. I was happy with my life working and creating curriculums for adults with disabilities and autism. And I think I shared last week, I went to the doctor because I wasn't feeling well, all these different symptoms. And he told me I had less than a year to live. That changed my perspective on everything, everything, and he gave me a beautiful prescription. He gave me Latin jazz. He wrote me a prescription to listen to Latin jazz for a year, 1 hour a day. Wanted me to lighten up and just kind of enjoy life a little. And so I just started rethinking, what is this? It was later I found out that I was being abused because it wasn't physical, right? But all the other signs there that I was being abused was there. And one day I went to sleep and this angelic figure told me to go to door 108, and he opened the door, and I just had this amazing, beautiful feeling. I could see like a sea of people, and he gave me permission to do it. So that's why on the logo, you see the door partially open. I just took the logo from the dream that I had, and I told God that as long as he put one person in front of me, I would talk to that person as if it's a million people in front of me. And if he put a million people in front of me, I gave him my word that I would talk to them as if it was just one person. During that time, I realized that I had no idea that men didn't have a place to go when they were being abused or neglected or anything. I mean, there's some homeless shelters. But in terms of educating and being better or just wanting a healthy relationship, that level of education to unprogram the negative thoughts, even for men that no longer want to be abusers, there's no place to go. And then, God forbid, if you admit that you've been abused, especially by a woman, right? It's no one want the world, society isn't set up to hear us. So thank you for telling us that you hear us. And so I decided, I want to do it. I had men that said, oh, yeah, I started out with something like that, but it's not enough money in it. So, you'll stop it sooner or later. Well, I haven't. I started the support group, which is called B6. I started that in 2014, February 12th, 2014. It's a weekly based support group, curriculum based support group. And we've been meeting every single week since 2014. And I have no stop, ladies. I have no stop.
That is awesome. Congratulations. Kudos to you on that. Yes. Mrs. Stephen, can you tell us about your experience with domestic violence and your viewpoint on that? Because I know you have a lot that you have gone through yourself. And now that you're in B6, what does that mean to you?
Thank you so much for the question. I just want to give kudos before I even start answering that question to you ladies for this platform. This is tremendous. And thank you for just allowing us to be part of it and to tell our story. Pastor Troy he's a partner, a brother and a friend. And I'll tell you, he's a picture of integrity, y'all. What you're seeing in the book and what you're hearing about it, he actually does walk the walk, and we do it together. I came along B6 about 3 years ago, and I was recruited, ironically, by somebody with whom I was in an 8-year relationship, and that person introduced me to B6 and to Troy. Okay. Partly because of my own imperfections, my own immature development emotionally, but what was the elephant in the room, so to speak, was that this lady was emotionally very abusive. She was very aggressive. That this was a history, a pattern for me. This was an 8-year romantic relationship that didn't get to marriage. It almost did. But I just kind of gave myself, with all my imperfections, and there were a lot of those, into this relationship, but not realizing that this person was narcissistic. They were manipulative. They were very controlling. It was all about them. And that's sort of the infrastructure to to domestic violence. Domestic violence is not just about something physical, as Pastor Troy is saying, and as I know you two ladies know perfectly well.
Yes.
It's about, there's emotional violence, there's spiritual violence. And I had experienced that in a 14-year marriage where I was emotionally abused there. And I'm not no victim, y'all. You know, I was not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes, but I got involved with a very powerful attorney in a part of the Caribbean where we were like big fish in a small pond. And let me tell you, same dynamic, powerful women, power and control, y'all, are part of the picture. And if we don't understand, you ladies were talking in the beginning about the preparation of the relationship, knowing, seeing the signs, and not rushing in, not being emotionally driven and your need taken over or rushing the situation. This afternoon, I'm going to speak to a couple who's asking me to do some premarital counseling. And that's one of the things I'm going to emphasize, is asking them to take their time. So there's much I want to say, but I hope I've answered your question.
But that's important.
Yeah, that is so. In your experience, in dealing with persons that come to the organization, have you found that because you all meet every single once a week?
Yes, every week.
Once every single week, do you find that they too are wanting to do the things that you're doing? Is it helping them, and they have decided that they're going to help others as well? Do you find that to happen? Each one teach one.
Yes. Ironically, no, it's going to sound completely amazing. It sounds amazing when I say it. Since the time we've started until current, we have spoken and taught and helped well over 500 men. Out of those 500 men, we've only had 2 guys complain. That's it. And the first guy was under the influence, and the second guy, I don't know really what, we didn't really identify what was wrong with him, but he was just really angry. And it's not for everyone, but out of the ones that have come, yes, we've seen a difference, a huge difference in men within 3 weeks of coming. 3 weeks of coming. We've had to talk to wives and girlfriends because they don't believe the transformation, so they want to get confirmation. Put them on the phone. Let me talk to them. But you must be seeing someone else, kind of thing. So these guys have been very inspired, and news travels, word of mouth. You know, that's how, I don't do formal advertising. You know, and we've grown because of that.
So, Pastor Jones and Steve, either one of you can answer let's get into the deep analogy of what causes this domestic violence from our men perspective, because we find that men abuse women physically a lot, and we've seen the slapping and the hitting, and also it just detrimentally, it ends up not good, and a woman lose her life, and then now his children are left with motherless. Can you speak what that could be?
Wow, that's a really good question. Steve, do you want to jump in and
yeah,
take
I would love to rescue you, Pastor Jones. Yeah, you know, it's the same dynamic that causes the brothers on the street. When I left the U.S. to go into this marriage, it was 1992, and D.C. was considered the murder capital of the world, and I couldn't understand why our young brothers were dying on the streets, assaulting each other. And the big thing was, you diss me. You know, any little thing would trip them up because they felt disrespected. Their egos were being, and so, you know, that there's a lot to that. But I find that it's the same kind of dynamic in a relationship with our ladies. So just like we have to respect our women, we have to love our women and honor our women. And we don't do that very well. Our women need to understand that a man's ego is huge. You got to learn how to stroke that ego. You got to learn how to pay respect to him. When the brother feels disrespected, when he feels like he is not cherished in spite of his imperfections or his warts, if you will, then I think if he's insecure, and if he is got some issues with power and control that may have come from his family of origin, then that sets him up. There are triggers. And ladies need to be mindful of what those triggers are. The great thing about B6 is that we, Brother Troy and I, and Brother Garen Taylor, and there are a couple other leaders, we help to create a space that is safe for these brothers, to where they can be themselves, where they feel respected, they feel honored, they feel validated. And that's what needs to happen in the relationship. That's not to say that the problem is the woman, the lady, but you know, I'm trying to answer your question. That's a part of the picture that helps to set up the violence that happens. But it's a brother who's broken, who's insecure, who's already got some issues, and then maybe his partner doesn't understand that, doesn't understand him, doesn't understand herself, and she may help to contribute to that.
Well, it sounds like they're bringing baggage to the
absolutely
table.
There's no question. Absolutely.
If I could add, it's one of those things, Stephen, that was said beautifully. Thank you, you know, for sharing that. But I think society give us mixed views, right? You know, society teaches us that we should be naive to some degree, weak yet humble, right? You can't be strong. Strength, they don't give a real good image as to what strength look like. And men, we don't want to be naive. You know, we need to be acutely aware, and we're not really sure what that looks like. And then once you're aware, you have to be confident. But sometimes confidence and strength is misconstrued. And if I raise my voice a little, I go to express myself. If it makes someone afraid and they don't really know how to deal with fear, and then I'm confused, you know. So as men, there's so many mixed messages in terms of what a man should look like, what a man should sound like, but we don't want to be weak. But society is telling us or modeling to us that to be humble, you have to be weak. And that's not true. And I know that's not true because God said the meek will inherit the earth, right?
That's right.
He didn't say the strong and anything. He could have said anything, but he said the meek. So true meekness is really having that strength and not using it because you can, using it when it's required. You know, using your words, using the tools. Unfortunately, a lot of men don't have the tools. And as Steve alluded to, we give the tools for men to be able to protect themselves emotionally and physically, right? And spiritually, but also to be able to acquire, identify, acquire, and maintain healthy relationships.
So I wanted to take a moment as well. You launched a women's group last week, I believe.
Yes.
Can you speak on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of the men, like I mentioned, they're women wanting to know, like, hey, what's going on? This transformation in my man. And I was like, okay, well, wow, let's do it. In addition to that, we've been approached. I can't say their name yet until everything is official, but we've been approached by a school that would like for us to use our curriculum to run a rites of passage program. And so they want to use their men and women. I hadn't launched. I've written a curriculum for a woman, but we hadn't officially launched it.
Okay.
So we did a pilot program, and some women volunteered to go through the workshop, and it was a 2-day workshop. And oh my gosh, I was blown away by their response and they absolutely loved it. They said it was refreshing, and women are different than guys. Guys are okay with the visuals. The women were like, well, we need pens, we need paper. Okay, what's the homework again? Can you repeat that? I was like, wow, like you guys were like really hungry for it. And it was so refreshing. And I had to apologize because I really thought women would have a hard time with me saying that women are abusive and pinpointing certain things. But they were hungry. They were desperately wanting to know, what did I do that could have been abusive? I don't want to do that. And see, the beauty is that we don't grow up desiring wanting to hurt people.
Right.
It's taught.
Yes.
And these women loved it. And so we're going to be launching it soon. We're tweaking some things, but I'm truly, truly looking forward. We have a beautiful woman that will host it. And I'm just super, super excited that we're able to offer the same thing for our women that we're offering for our men. And then bring everyone together to do a collaborative workshop maybe every 3 months or so. So we're still working on it, and you guys will get the first invite once we launch it.
I was going to say we have to travel, because I was going to mention the fact that you're not in the DMV area. Tell the audience where
where are you?
Where are you?
I was thinking too.
So right now, most of our work is virtual, but to God be the glory. Again, until everything is signed, we've been offered land. We've been offered a place, a brick and mortar. Right? And so those things
Where
are
would that be located?
in Baltimore. It's going to be in Baltimore.
Okay.
It's going to be in Baltimore.
Awesome. That's too far.
Let me rephrase that. We will have land in Baltimore and Prince George's County.
Right. That's right.
Even closer.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, Pastor Jones, you're an author of a book. I think we have your cover of your book. Tell us a little bit about your book.
So it's called The Forbidden Journal. It's one of 4 books. This is The Forbidden Journal, and it's a journey of what it's like for a man to be abused when it's not physical. Right? And it kind of gives a very deep look in terms of what he goes through, how he goes through it, and the end result. When you don't have that level of support. It's really, really good read. It's not for the squeamish, it's just very raw. It's very upfront and in your face. So I guess no hold bars. And so I don't want people calling me back like, but you a pastor, why would you say something like that?
Thank you, Dante.
I could not put that book. I couldn't put it down when I read it, y'all. I just kept reading it.
Is this the book that you would recommend women to read?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. And ladies, I want to tell you that I am autographing and gifting the 2 of you my book. And so look forward to your feedback.
Well, we must put our information to give that to you. We're really, because I want to be able to definitely speak on this on our next show when we do receive it, on our future shows rather, so that we can tell others that we read your book and it is a must read.
Okay.
Yes, and we know we must read it. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for
that.
That autograph is worth $150, y'all. Donation to 108B6. So understand.
Don't tell me that, Steve, because money's hard to come by. I may have to go take
So the last book, ladies, that I'll be writing, it's a co-authored book with other gentlemen. The title is called "Men Are Sexier When They're Transparent."
Oh, yes. That is true. That's so true. Oh, you would know, right?
Yes.
Well, I want you all to hang out with us. We're going to bring on our next guest and hang out with us. But this gentleman that we're going to bring on, his name is Terrence Takeem. We call him Takeem. And he is like a brother, but yet he's been, working with me. And I've been working with him for a few years now. And I want to have him on because it's this subject matter that we're talking about is near and dear to him as well. He's using this as a project. This is his life. He's walking it and living it. But yet in his field, he has the opportunity to spread this across the nation.
Wow.
He has the ability to do that. And Takeem is a multi-talented, social conscious person. He's an author. He's a filmmaker, director, and he's a TV show producer. And he's a recording artist. He's worked on many films. He's worked on many shows. He's worked with many celebrity authors and celebrity actors. He is a celebrity in his own right. He really is. He's worked on several movies, to include a movie called Touched and Jason's Letter that I would have privilege to work with him on. So I want to bring him right in because before we bring him in, Dante, play this clip because right now he's on a mission. We're on a mission to talk about don't give up. And I mentioned that last week when I showed this. And we're telling people out there, don't give up. No matter what you're doing, whatever you're going through, whatever you've gone through, don't give up. And there are women who survived domestic violence. We want to highlight some sisters, which we're doing this in this particular clip. So Dante, can you share the clip and then we'll bring Takeem in.
So never give up. It's not easy. Keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Just slipping away. Come on. If you think it's just too much for you, I'm feeling good. 'Cause I've been there too. I've been there too. Don't stop trying. Oh, if you want it, yeah. Handle your business. Yeah. Come on. Don't give up. Don't give up. No. Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting. Love's a winner. Don't ever give up. Don't stop trying. Don't stop trying. If you want it, handle your business. Handle your business. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Just keep fighting. Yeah, yeah. Everybody loves a winner. Come on, loves a winner. Don't give up. Just keep fighting.
Yes.
Wow, that was great.
This is awesome. This is
Wonderful.
awesome.
Congratulations.
Welcome, Takeem.
Don't give up.
Take off the mute. Take. We can't hear you.
What about now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome. Thank you. This is awesome, guys. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that message is so strong, right?
Yes, it is.
Don't
wonderful. Give up.
Well, you know, when I do projects, I mean, Wyoming's been working with me for a while. Like she said, I'm always doing things that have to do with either social justice or the abuse of women and children. So all of my projects are on those topics. So it was time for me to kind of veer away from the social justice and veer back into the whole abuse of women and children topic. And this film, this abuse film, is really going to hit really hard because I realized. When I was doing these projects, I realized most people, they don't really take it serious unless you make it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but that's just the reality of it. It's a subject matter that, for whatever reason, they keep on trying to sweep under the rug. They want to act like it's not happening, and it's true, and it truly is a pandemic at this point because we talk about almost every other household.
Yes.
And, which is pandemic. So what I wanted to do, I never released the Touch film. I did the Touch film like 7-8 years ago. I never put it out, but I had all those huge stars in the movie. I never put it out. But what we did with this film, the abuse film, what we did was we turned it into a thriller, and we added a bunch more major actors to it. And it's about a college professor who lures these 6 people who were abused as children. He lures them to a college and gets them to do this thing. But what they don't know is that they're about to have adverse reactions because none of these people are willing to come to terms with being abused. And it's really heavy. But the film that he lures them to the college to watch is my original film, Touch.
Yes, since you mentioned abuse, and that's your film that is presently going to be coming out in next year. Let's go ahead and show people what that's about. A sneak peek on that as well, Dante.
Flashback.
Abused, a film about a professor who lures 6 abuse survivors to a college campus. They are lured there under the guise of being paid to screen and survey a film. But what they don't know is that the entire experience is about to go horribly wrong.
Not often is there a film that forces us to face our fears.
And they've all been abused. What is this?
He
even if he looks at him the wrong way. Anyway.
Trusting my idiot husband.
You can have your money back, because I'm about to leave.
I'm coming!
I believe everyone has heard what the professor has said.
You're not going anywhere. Now sit your asses down.
Stop it, Professor!
Ow.
Wow.
Woo!
Gosh.
I'm scared.
Yeah, listen.
That's a thriller.
I want to buy my
That's a
ticket right
thriller.
now. Can I buy my ticket? Can I buy my ticket? Please let me buy my
No,
ticket.
there's going to be a showing, a premiere showing of this movie. We're working on that, but at the same time, it's necessary for a story like this to be told. Takeem, tell us why.
Yeah, well, it's necessary because for whatever reason, everybody keeps trying to act like all this abuse is not happening, and you know, it as much as I wanted, like when I put the book out, touched, and I was doing all of these signings for the book and things like that, and I noticed that people just for whatever reason want to keep acting like, okay, well this is taboo. How can this be taboo when it's happening in almost every other household? It's taboo because you want it to be taboo, because you don't want the truth to come out.
Yes.
That's what it boils down to. So I said to myself, I want to get back to telling those stories about people who are abused, any kind of physical abuse. I want to get back to telling those stories because those stories have to be told. Because the thing about it, you can't just keep sweeping it under the rug unless you're not going to like do anything about it. Because if you're not going to do anything about it, that means this is going to continue. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to tell that story, but I knew every time I showed that film, and Wyoming, I'll tell you this, we set the microphones up in the aisle. Every time we showed that film, while we were doing the family discussion, I think anywhere between 8 to maybe 10, 12, 14 people would come out and tell their stories of being abused for the first time in front of all these people after they saw my film. So I knew right then and there that it was a subject that had to be told, but I knew if I came back out, I never released the film for two reasons. Number one, I didn't think it was my first film. I didn't think it was quality enough. Number two, a lot of time had passed, and I knew it wasn't going to hit as hard as I wanted it to, because it was pretty, like, even though I had those reenactments in it, it was pretty much a documentary, just with reenactments. So I knew I had to do it in a total film form. So I redid it under this abuse guide with all these stars like Tony Sirico, Stephen Baldwin, Terry Vaughn, Harvey Joe, and we added Angie Stone and James Russo. I'm gonna tell you something though. We're in the process of talking to Lionsgate about this film right now. Lionsgate probably gonna be the script, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if they do the right thing with this film, James Russo, he might be in the talks for a lot of an award, because he took that madman role to the same level that Jack Nicholson took to Shine.
Wow.
You saw
Wow. Yeah, that was very believing. It was, I was believing. I was like, oh my God, he really took that serious.
Yes.
So that's when you know you're a good actor.
Yeah,
Do any of y'all have any, what do you say, Ty?
No, so he's a great actor, but he took
absolutely.
Absolutely. That role to another level.
How did you get Angie Stone to agree? Because you all have a single together that's coming out and going to be released as well, relatively.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a single coming out called "Don't Give Up."
Yeah, the song you just heard, the song you heard during the video, that's Angie and I single.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from the movie. What happened was because I hadn't done music in a while, because I was signed to Warner Brothers as an R&B soloist. And it just, like, they sat me on the shelf for like 5 years, and it really affected my love to want to do music. You know, for me to make, because I made a lot of noise in the beginning, and for them to sign me and sit me on the shelf for like 5 years, it really affected my psyche to want to do music. So that's how I got into the film stuff. So it was a calling. Everything happens for a reason. You know?
Yes.
And what happened was I asked Angie, because I knew she acted. I asked her to be in the film. So I was working with an artist from New Jersey, a singer, and I said, Angie, I said, listen, I want to have a couple songs on the in the film, on the soundtrack. I said, can you sing on this song with one of my artists? She said, let me hear the song. I let her hear the song, and she said to me, listen to me, baby. She said, listen. She said, I researched you before I agreed to come do your music, come do your movie. She said, and I know for sure that you sang. She said, so if you want me to do the song, you got to sing on it with me. I was like,
nice.
Yes, you got a winner. That's a winner right there.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
y'all have any questions for Takeem?
I did. I had a couple of questions for Takeem. First of all, being behind the scenes and working, are the actors, not to go too deep with it, but what were their relationships with abuse that they were able to embody that and embrace that, to come across as real victims?
Some of them, without putting their business out, I mean, some of them were victims of abuse. And because when I asked them to come do the movie, and a bunch of them were victims of in the church film as well. Some of these major actors that was in it, well, she went public with her, so I can talk about her. Taylor Page, Taylor Page was in the original. She was in the original film, my first film, Touch. And Taylor Page, she's told her story publicly now. She's a bigger actress now. She got nominated for the Emmy and everything. Was it Golden Globe or Emmy, one of the two? But with that film, her and Viola Davis. But yeah, she came out and told her story. The rest of them, I don't know if they have. But to answer your question, several of these people, in both of the in the touch film and in the abuse film, they were all victims of abuse. So I think that's why they were able to come across like that.
Did it come back? Did they have any type of my son calling grandma? So did they have any type of residual feelings? Did anything come back up that they might have experienced? And were there any triggers that happened during the film?
Oh no. Well, you gotta remember, most people who are in the public eye, they're still used to talking about difficult subject matter. That when they go to do a role, they just embellish themselves into that character.
Okay.
And that's what most of these people were able to do. So most of them didn't have any kind of trigger effects when they were doing the film. But I think, well, you know what? Let me rephrase. Taylor Page did. Taylor, she did it. She told me after we finished. So I gotta backtrack. She told me that she had a trigger.
Yeah.
During the film, because she had to cry. She started crying, and I didn't realize she was crying before the scene and stuff. And then she told me afterwards that it took her back. And but she did a great job. And like I said, we never put that film out. And now we're probably people will get a chance to see some of the major actors. Some of the actors we have so many actors in the touch film that I didn't even use all of them. So Denise Boutaine's in it from Why Did I Get Married? Oh, we used Denise Boutaine's Steve. The only person we can use were Adrian Paul, who used to be on Highlander, and the girl Cheryl Jackson used to be on Moesha.
Okay.
And Mackenzie Phillips. She was in the movie American One Day at a Time. We didn't use their scene in the movie, but those are some of the other bigger actors who were also in the touch film. We used the other like Stephen Baldwin and of course Tony Sirico. And we just found out that my film is gonna be the last movie that you see Tony Sirico in, because he died. He died about maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
May I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
My brother, first of all, it's an honor to be on the show with you, man. Takeem, is there anything in your personal experience that might explain your fascination, your focus on this topic, as part of your repertoire of films?
Oh yeah, almost definitely. I'm one of the kids. I'm one of the kids that went through the foster care system. So it's most of my time ducking pregnant and things like that. So thank God I was a street kid, so I was able to fight it off. But I saw so many other kids that weren't able to fight it off. So when I got older, I knew I wanted to speak on the subject matter. And then when I even before I went to the foster system, I used to see my mom get beat up by these dudes she was with. Mainly this one guy she was with. He used to beat her up all the time. And my uncle told him to stop hitting my mom. And and my uncle came to our house with a hammer and killed this man with a hammer. So and he went on trial and he got acquitted because he was protecting my mom. So all of these all the subject matter stuff that I'm and then as far as the social justice stuff is concerned, I got caught up in a situation where they locked us up for like a white collar crime because we had these body shots, and they didn't lock up none of the white people. Just us.
Wow. Yeah. Yes.
So it's like one of my sons. So it's like, and I was one of those people who thought that I was one of those people that believed that the legal system was fair. I found out the hard way that it absolutely wasn't, especially when it comes to us. So,
I really appreciate your response, man. I was a family therapist in D.C., actually Prince George's County, for many years, working in the foster care system. And I would actually see families in their homes, foster families. And I saw these kids who came from abuse, and that continued in the system, sadly, from one home to the next, to the next, to the next. So
Unfortunately,
I really
so
appreciate
many
your story.
of our brothers and sisters are targeted. When it gets to the system, we're targeted. We get the worst sentences and everything. They're not listening to us as though it doesn't matter, but they're looking away at another person or another race, and we're locked up. And a lot of us are innocent or just trying to help.
But what it is that you're so right about that, because what they do, you got to remember, they dehumanize them. So when you look at a person as not being a human being, then you'll do anything to them.
Anything.
Yeah, and they dehumanize us. So that's kind of what it really boils down to. But a prime example is this guy, like out of all those people in the January 6th riots, the black guy just got almost, I think he got the second highest sentence than everybody else was involved in it. The only person he didn't get more time than was the person who they said was involved in the causing the cop to die. That's the only person he got more time than. Other than that, he got more time than all these other people. But,
and there wasn't that many of them there. It was only I only counted a handful that I could only see on screen. So that's amazing compared to all of the violence that was going on, where you actually saw these people hurting people, throwing stuff in the whole 9 yards. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the few minutes we have left, what I would like to do is go around to you, gentlemen, and we thank you so much for coming on, because this is very important for other men to hear men speak out on this issue. And you all are making a difference. Believe you may not seem like it to some, but many you really are. So Pastor Troy, just take a second or so to leave with some departing encouragements to our community that's relative to this abuse.
Absolutely. First of all, ladies, thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you're doing. For the past 20 years? Oh my gosh, how beautiful and wonderful is that? And Takeem, thank you for putting it out there in the face for people to deal with it. Most of the time, people say they want the truth, and we got to put it out there. So thank you for that. And Brother Steve, just for your commitment and your transparency for that. Your entire team is amazing. I want to encourage people to identify your environment, and I'm gonna leave you with an assignment. Nothing is impossible. What the biggest fear you should have is conforming, right? You may want to give up, but don't. You may want to be quiet, but don't. Understand that gift and power is inside of you. What I want you to do is make a list. Take a sheet of paper, and on one side, write down every single person that has been positive and encouraging and non-abusive in your life. On the other side of that paper, I want you to write down every single person that have said a harmful thing to you or about you that was very discouraging and abusive. I want you to tear that paper in half, and the one with all those negative people's name and information, throw it away. You don't need them. Focus on the ones that speak life into you. Encourage yourself to speak life. Never say another negative thing about yourself. I don't care what situation you're in. You speak it, because God says life and death lies within the power of your tongue. And I want you to start speaking life into yourself every single day.
Yes.
Thank you, Pastor Troy.
That is awesome. That's word.
Word.
That's word.
I'll be very brief, y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. Really appreciate what you're doing on this platform. I want to say to the public, those listening, that domestic violence is a public health crisis. This is a very serious problem, and women and men are abused alike. Women feel trapped, and oftentimes it leads to their death. And men, whether as perpetrators or as victims, we need to appreciate that there is a unique struggle that men go through. Not only are they victims, but as abusers, they are broken.
Yes.
And I just hope we can all rally around, and this show is a great way to do that. God bless you all, and thank you so much for having us.
Well, you all will be back.
Yes.
Trust me, you all will be regulars.
The conversation must continue.
Well, you know, women
Yes.
need men. I mean, we can't deny that.
And we have to understand the men. That's most importantly. So we'll know how to, we're the nurturers. We try to take care of everyone, but sometimes there's no one there to take care of us. And the very person that we want to take care of us is troubled. So we have to address that elephant in the room and embrace it and know how to deal with it. Yes.
Yeah, and we will have our other panelists to be on next time when you all come, because it's a full energy. When they're here, it's a lot of energy. But again, it's a lot going on. So we excuse them for today.
Thank you.
All right. So anyway, Tykeem, because we're going to close out with you with the video today, we want you to give one last parting words, and we're going to close out with "Don't Give Up," because that is a very encouraging.
And how do we get in touch with our?
Yes, we want people to follow him on his IG. Please follow Terrence Tykeem on Instagram. Follow him, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to put the word out about "Don't Give Up," which we're going to be doing that on starting now. It's starting now. So Tykeem, definitely give us some parting words as we close out.
Well, first of all, the "Don't Give Up" song is about people who overcome everything. I mean, from cancer, domestic violence, child abuse, people who have been shot and made it back from being paralyzed from the waist down and things like that. Like, "Don't Give Up" is about people who have pulled through. And domestic violence is something that people have definitely been able to pull through. And I mean, people who have been going through it for a long time. So I just want to thank you guys for having me on to talk about this issue and to really focus the "Don't Give Up." The "Don't Give Up" campaign around domestic violence and any other subject that we know that people need encouragement to pull through and to know that they're not alone.
And they're not alone. That is it right there. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We will have you on again. We will make sure we keep you all on our lips and in our minds so that we can be able to support every effort that you're doing to help others. Thank you so much. And as we say on this show, what time is it? It's time for you to walk in your purpose and prosperity. We'll see you all next week. Have a blessed one. Don't give up.
Thank you. Don't give up. I'm gonna reach out to you, Tykeem.
Yeah, y'all gonna definitely reach out to each other. Hold on, we're gonna reach out. Okay, here we go.
So never give up. It's not easy. Keep striving, never give up. Fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Just slipping away. Come on. If you think it's just too much for you, I'm feeling good, 'cause I've been there too. I've been there too. Don't stop trying. Oh, if you want it, handle your business. Come on. Don't give up. Don't give up. No. Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting. Love's a winner. Don't give up. Don't stop trying. Don't stop trying. If you want it, handle your business. Handle your business. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep fighting. Yeah. Everybody loves a winner. Come on, loves a